Hi, everybody. I'm John David Maybury, and I'm here to tell you and talk to you about creating space for digital citizenship. This is from the book that was written by Kristen Mattson, and it is the Digital Citizenship in Action Empowering Students to Engage in Online Community. No, the chapter headings have been modified to be able to communicate better about what is actually in this chapter, which is great. It's fantastic. So, moving forward here. First of all, we look at all the ways that we have that students engage in digital citizenship. First of all, we have TikTok and Instagram, for example. These two over here, what I want to say is that they have their own rules that they have embedded because they are already usually involved with these communities. And then we come along and try to teach them digital citizenship, and we just put a poster on the wall, and then we just expect them to know how to act online out of the rules that we have forced upon them that they've already created themselves and learned being online themselves on many different platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. Mostly at this time when this video is recorded, it's a lot of TikTok. But then we get them involved in email and Google Classroom assignments. And then what do we do from there? It's really hard to gauge that. And we have to ensure that we're teaching all aspects before we expect the students to jump in. Obviously, we have to do something in order to educate them better. And it's not a poster on the wall. It's actually using your form of media to show them how to act, having them practice procedures just like you do in your classroom. Moving on from there, you have two different class aspects from it. First of all, you have online tech, and that's your vision versus somebody else's online vision, where they don't accept technology and you do, because one teacher, class A, has had huge success with it and another class hasn't. Where do you draw the line who is right and who is wrong? Now, of course, this parent over having a kid from this class B, they're going to probably agree with this teacher that online is dangerous. Who are we involving? Who is going to be dangerous online to take my kid? Now, it's funny that this chapter mentions that we are expecting students to stay away from strangers and never get in cars. And now we use our technology in order to contact strangers to get in their cars with Uber and Lyft. It's a big world out there and it's changing. We have to make sure we're changing with it. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do that this chapter talks about in order to be involved in being successful in setting up a classroom. First of all, investigate what you're looking into. Talk with your colleagues and school librarians, in your building administrators. Find out what everybody is using. Digital tools that people are using are going to be better influenced if the students already know how to use it. But of course, you could find your own. There's plenty out there, great websites that you could explore with just a Google, Yahoo, whatever your search engine of choice is. You could just find that. And then after that, you want to be able to communicate with everybody and be able to bring forth to your students and teaching them how to communicate and bring that forth. And after you finally build that, you're going to build a network. And this network of students and you and parents and whatever else or whoever else is involved with that student, who's ever connected with that student, that network is going to be built strong. And then, of course, target your tech. Set learning targets and give direct instruction on how to use the technology. Often we say, hey, I have technology for you. You figure it out. Here's the assignment. And we got to start scaffolding in order to teach students how to do that. Now, first of all, where do these students come from? This chapter does a great job about introducing ways that we can survey where students are from. Instead of getting caught off guard of all the bells and whistles that exist in a program, start small. Not everybody is going to be able to have the tools to use this because some people live under a rock and they pretend to use technology. And when they see you using it, they get self-conscious. They're going to go right back in because they don't know how to use it. And other people, of course, they know how to use it and they breeze right by. So when you see people like this, don't feel as if you need to just zoom through things with bells and whistles. Let them explore on that of their own if they want to do extra stuff. But some questions you want to start asking is access. What do you have at home? A computer, Wi-Fi, laptops, smartphones? Are you allowed to use social media? If so, what websites, apps do you use already? And who are your role models on social media? Right now, are they with some grungy person on TikTok that has no morals and you have to compete with that in order to teach that? You have to know these things in order to jump in and be able to teach etiquette, just like that person or those other social medias that they've already been involved in has already taught them, that we talked about in the first slide here. So going forward with this, we have, of course, what type of online activity are they already involved in, and when they're online, what websites do they visit? What are the preferred methods for communication that they have? Of course, if you consider all the time that you spend on your device every week, what percentage is it using doing reading, searching up things, going on YouTube, online learning? Do you pay attention to things online like politics or world problems or weather? What are you using your technology for? And then, of course, the skill level that we have addressed. What type of skill do you have? Do you know how to keep your files organized? And this is interesting, like, oh, I'm really good at tech. It's not about that, really. Can you keep your stuff organized? When somebody uses an abbreviation symbol or GIF, for those of you, we'll get that in a comment in another forum if you ever want to. Emoji, what are the things that you know? What kind of language do you know? And when you don't know, what do you do to get that clarification? Do you know how to get that clarification when you're looking up stuff? How would you handle a situation if somebody was bullying you or somebody else online and you have to protect them or protect yourself, or you feel that duty to? And what do you have to teach to somebody else technology-wise, and what is a technical skill that you wish you were better with? All those things, definitely find out their skill levels. And especially responding to each other after you're building that network. You can go slow and you can build this up. It does not have to be fast. Building this up and going slow, scaffolding again is what it's really at, finding out where the students are at, meeting them in the middle of where you're at, building slowly of how to communicate and teaching them very specifically as you're targeting them with that. Okay, you got to target the tech and be very specific on how you want the tech used. Don't just concentrate on the do's and don'ts. You want to also get feedback from them on what they expect. They'll come up with the right answer when they come up with the rules that they initially started on the platforms that they've been on before you try to introduce classroom ideas to it. This also talks about a great story about this person who this principal who was pushed technology into Twitter and getting the whole school involved in their own Twitter hype for school spirit. And when people have banned Twitter because it's been so wrong and what kids say on there, just educate the students better. Educate them better and give them the tools to be able to use this platform, and it can be used for great things. With great power comes great responsibility, and that's with knowledge. There are evil geniuses out there, and there are amazing geniuses using the same technology. You got to scaffold, you have to guide them through, and that's what this chapter is all about. Get them to those apps that you want them using, but learn and teach them as well, together with them, how to use it, and everything will be fine. You got to use it appropriately, and that's the difference between using it successfully in a classroom and not, is giving them training. We all hate to be thrown into a system without training, and when schools spend money, it's been studies have shown, on programs rather than training teachers specifically the way that it should be across the board. It just suffers. But you know what? You can do it. You have this, and that's what this chapter really talks about. It's great when you get to combine that with the knowledge that you have and then the knowledge that they have. Get that all together, starting slow, scaffolding, building that online community, and then all of a sudden, the massive success between everybody as they start self-advocating for digital citizenship. There you go. So try it out. Give it all you got. Don't give up on it. When something goes wrong, find out what that is. Start again. Retrain you or somebody else. And chances are, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, if something went wrong, it's probably our thoughts. We can guide the students to the place that they need to go. They want to do well. They want to please you. Remember that, because it feels good to do well in school and to involve their own lives within all of this. All right, guys, that was a summary of chapter 1 of this great book. Please, if you have any questions, subscribe. Just kidding. Have a good day.